As immigration attorneys, a lot of our clients rely on us to help them, guide them through the process of their visa or green card application. And sometimes a case comes up where we want to expedite the processing or move things along for our clients. And our clients, rightfully so, have a lot of expectations for us. And there are some ways where attorneys can move cases forward and get them going, but there are also a lot of limitations. After all, we're not supermen or superwomen. There are certain limitations to our superpowers. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about where we as attorneys can help move things forward and where things are unfortunately outside of our control and we really can't do a whole lot. So the first thing is I wanted to talk about processing at the consulate. Not because that's so important, but because that's probably where we as attorneys are the most helpless, to put it directly. There's really not a whole lot we can do legally when you're waiting at the embassy to get the process going. So it might be waiting for just an initial interview, or maybe they sent you administrative processing, or maybe there's some other hang up and for some unexplained reasons, they're not processing your application or making a final decision. It is very frustrating for us and our clients when this happens. But unfortunately, the State Department is almost like a government on its own, beyond the reach of the typical legal procedural protections here in the United States. So what we always tell our clients is, if you have problems in the embassy, you're not on your own. We're with you and ready to help you. But our ability to help you is severely, severely limited, unfortunately. Now, if you're in the U.S. and your case is pending here, maybe a change of status, maybe adjustment of status, or something else, but you're here physically present in the U.S., that makes things a lot easier. So there's ways to reach out. If your attorney is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, there are liaisons within AILA that allow you to try to get a backdoor to the Immigration Service, short of litigating and whatnot, to try to get their attention to a particular case. That's one informal way of moving things along. Another informal way is, again, if depending on what type of visa you're filing here, especially if it's with premium processing for, say, an L1, O1, E2, the premium processing departments for these visas are generally quite responsive. And if for some reason, they didn't adjudicate your case within the 15 days, from my experience, they're very responsive if we reach out to them. If you're dealing with some other cases, like maybe an EB-5 that's gotten dragged out, or some other issues, more complicated ones, here it's a lot of nuances, as we like to say. You could go to court, and we do that. They're called mandamus cases, and increasingly, especially for EB-5, we've been doing a lot of mandamus cases, and we've never lost one. And this is usually when the government is just taking so long. You go to a federal judge and say, hey, look, judge, this is just beyond any reasonableness that a client would have to wait this amount of time. And like I said, we've never had any problems with expediting cases that way. The only other way to maybe expedite it, sometimes clients say, well, let's write to our senators and House, congressmen and stuff like that. In my honest opinion, it's hopeless to do that. Maybe if it's a marriage case where there's a U.S. citizen involved, yes, if you reach out to your senator or congressperson, that might have some help. But if, again, you're a non-resident and you have no U.S. citizen relatives and you're trying to get an EB-5, for example, turning to the politicians, from my experience, is just a waste of time and money and effort. It's not going to go anywhere because there's nobody involved that's a citizen that even could elect, participate in elections. So why would your senator care that you've been waiting for a long time to get your EB-5? So I hope this clarifies a few things. Again, there's nothing clear and set. It's oftentimes just trying different methods, reaching out to different offices to make things go faster. A lot of this depends on the exact type of visa you're applying for. But like I said, in the case of EB-5s, we've been very successful with mandamuses. That is also true in some cases for non-immigrant visas. If you're overseas at the embassy, that's a whole nother can of worms that can be very difficult to deal with. And we've dealt with it with our clients, but again, it requires an individualized approach to come up with the best strategy to keep things moving along. If this was helpful, please feel free to subscribe, or if you have any remaining questions, reach out to us so that we can possibly assist you